Welcome back to the Gavel. In July, Nigerians woke up to disturbing news that the European Union has temporarily banned the importation of food items such as beans, melon seeds, dried meat, dried fish, and some others. The reason given by the EU for the ban is that these food items contain high levels of pesticides, which pose serious health risk for consumers. It is discouraging news for the country as government is seeking to boost non-oil revenue. It is also disturbing to think that these products are major food staples in Nigeria, which may be causing harm to people who consume them. Anyway, the matter was brought up at plenary and federal lawmakers had one or two things to say about it. These food items, which are staples in Nigeria, would not be finding their way into any European country anytime soon. This is because the European Union has banned the export of beans, sesame seeds, melon seeds, dried fish, dried meat, peanut chips and palm oil until 2016. This is bad news for a country like Nigeria, which is desperate to expand its export basket to boost revenue. This federal lawmaker, who drew the attention of the Senate to this development, says the ban was because the products contain high levels of pesticides, which is harmful when consumed.
Aware that for some time now, the EU has been warning Nigeria that these products constitute danger to human health as they contain high level of pesticides, as a result of which 50 notifications were issued on the matter and notice was done to reverse the situation.
The ban on the agricultural exports by the European Union suggests that Nigeria's unfavorable balance of trade position with European countries would worsen, as Nigeria would be exporting fewer agricultural products. Lawmakers blamed food and agricultural agencies in Nigeria for failing to properly standardize food crops.
To me, it is a failure of the regulatory agencies like NAFDAC, Standards Organization of Nigeria, and the recently formed National Food Supply Management Committee. If they had been alive to their responsibility, this ban wouldn't have been possible.
If the EU and America will ban the importation of foods with this kind of chemicals in them, it means they are not good for the health of their citizens. If they are not good for the health of their citizens, why should they be good for the health of the citizens of Nigeria?
The Senate asked the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, the Ministry of Health, and the Standards Organization of Nigeria to be alive to its regulatory duties over food and agricultural products. However, for a Senate which is quick to summon heads of agencies, lawmakers curiously did not invite any of the heads of these agencies to explain why, despite repeated warnings by the EU, they failed to address the problem. The House of Representatives during the week urged the executive to declare a state of emergency on the porous borders across the country so that all illegal routes into Nigeria can be adequately checked to reduce the activities of insurgents and terrorists. Watch.
As has been the case since the resumption of the House of Representatives after the resolution of the leadership tussle in June, the House proceedings was marked by several motions and petitions for the attention of members. Top on the list was insurgency in the northeast and the resulting security challenges. The situation of some communities in Adamawa State, where many have been displaced and in need of resettlement while still facing threats from the insurgents, was first to be addressed.
Devastating attacks by this group have led to the total destruction of farms and farmlands in my constituency. Markets and houses have been completely burnt, thereby rendering my people homeless, without livelihood and living refugees in other towns. 75% of my people's houses have been burned down and many of them killed. The most affected areas are Dugaba District, Guyaku District, Garkida District, Gaya District, and Hong District. The people whose mandate I hold are suffering and without any assistance from the federal government, who may not be aware of their plight.
For Adamawa State and some communities in Borno State, where several lives and property worth millions have been lost as recently as July, the House urged the executive to see to the deployment of more troops alongside rehabilitation and relief.
The attacks on the said communities, which are not more than 20 kilometers from the capital city of Maiduguri, led to the insurgents burning down 250 shops and stores stocked with grain, utensils, and other consumables, and also the setting ablaze of some houses, all of which have adversely affected both the economic and commercial fortunes of the communities in particular.
Also considered on the floor of the House was the need to declare an emergency on the nation's porous borders to stop the activities of terrorists in the country. A lawmaker, Chike Okafor, said Nigeria's fight against terrorism will be incomplete when over 1,000 illegal entries remain unchecked.
There are more than 1,497 illegal routes and 84 regular entry points into Nigeria. Over 100 million illicit weapons are in circulation in sub-Saharan Africa, with Nigeria accounting for a lion's share of about 70 million of the weapons, owing to the porous nature of our borders.
The House urged the National Boundary Commission to embark on the unique national identity creation on all the border points, as well as deploy modern technology to create clear demarcation at all national borders.